Boo, do you want to go inside or you want to sit out here for a little while? You want to go inside or you want to hang out? You want to just sit here for a little while? You want to hang out here or you want to go inside? What do you want to do, Boo? He seems very happy right now.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Sammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals.
It is almost 10 a.m. and we're running a little bit late right now. I wanted the cats to be eating this around 9:30. So we have our second appointment today at 11:30, which means I want to leave here around 11, which is about an hour from now. So I just gave the cats a little bit of breakfast. So they're getting a little bit of canned tuna for humans with a little bit of crunchies on top. And if they eat all this, then they could have a little bit more crunchies. And Boo has his calming drops. And hopefully he'll eat all of his tuna because that's what I put it on. And I'm going to try to get him where I need him in about 45 minutes. I'm going to give myself only about 15 or 20 minutes to do that because, you know, if I can't do it like the first or second attempt, it's not going to be able to get done. And if I can't do that, meaning get him in a carrier, I'm going to then either bring Simba or Stella with me and just use the checkup for them. So I'm just watching Boo to make sure he eats his tuna. He got a full dose, like a full milliliter, whole dropper full. And he's been in good spirits this morning. We've all been in good spirits this morning, so I'm just trying to keep everything light and happy. Stella finished her food. I don't know where Splash is. He walked away and, oh look, Boo finished. All right, I'll give him a little bit more crunchies. It is 10:48 a.m. and I just got Boo in the carrier. So I moved it over here near the TV unit. I put it on its side and then I spent some time with Boo. I petted him. I told him what we're going to do. I explained everything to him as calmly as I possibly could. I gave him a few treats and he wanted the treats. Then we played with the spider for a little bit because I wanted to take his mind off of things. Then I put the spider down because I said, well, I don't want to get him too, like, agitated. But then I picked him up and I was like, you're going in here, and I just put him in there and he was trying to get out, but it definitely helps when it's on its side because, like, the majority of his body weight is in it at that point and his paws are, like, you know, trying to pull him out. And all I have to do really is like touch his paws and pull his paws off the door and then he goes in. And then I shut the door and I turn it right side up. Now he has had all the calming drops today. And I think that has made all the difference because picking him up to put him in here today, he was much calmer than picking him up and putting him in here like yesterday or the day before when I did not give him any drops. So at least I know these calming drops work. I mean, look how calm he is right now. He's just hanging out. But we've also had several days of practice. I'm just hoping he stays calm the entire ride there and during the checkup and then during the ride back. I'm just so happy. Like, this is just such a load of stress off me that he's in the carrier. Now, we just have to get through the stress of getting to the appointment and the stress of the appointment. Once the appointment's done, then everything is fine. I should also mention that about 5 members of the Lucky 7 saw me put Boo in the carrier and they freaked out and ran. So they're all hiding. It is 12:24 and here's Boo. He's outside in the carrier. We just got back. He did really good on the car ride home. He did not howl at all on the car ride home. He meowed a few times, but that was it. And I already see an ant. How's there an ant in there? Oh, there's a bunch of ants on the ground. How did they get in there so fast? Anyway, so I just wanted to mention that Boo pooped in the carrier when we were about 2 minutes away from the vet's office. And I smelled something funny and I was like, oh no, I hope he didn't poop. And sure enough, when we got in the vet's office, when I pulled up the blanket that was covering the carrier, like, you could really, really smell it. So thankfully, the vet tech cleaned it up for us, gave us a fresh training pad in there, and then he put the blanket that was soiled in a plastic bag, so I have to put that in the laundry. And Boo did really good. So he had a full checkup and nothing has changed since last time. His tooth, his fang tooth that's loose, is not any looser than it was last time. And, his other teeth are the same as they were last time. And the vet was like really yanking at that fang. Like he was trying to wiggle it and yank it, and it was not going anywhere. And he's like, yeah. I mean, he's like, you could schedule surgery to have that tooth removed, but you don't necessarily need to do that yet. So he said normally it would eventually come out on its own. And many times when it does that, like there's not even blood. But sometimes when a tooth is a little loose, then you could see blood from it, especially if it got irritated, like if he was grooming himself. And I said, yeah, he's been over grooming. So that could irritate it. And also, when he tries to pluck the feathers off the toys, that could also irritate it also. But Boo did really good in the vet's office. I think the calming drops helped so much. They totally helped. Even now, like look how calm he is hanging out here. I figured I'd let him sit out here for a few minutes and then I'm going to bring him inside. It's just so weird seeing Boo outside because he's an inside boy now. But he used to be out here all the time. Remember when he used to live on the patio? Like he used to live in the yard. He probably remembers it. But I'm really happy that the appointment went well. It was pretty quick. And I'm going to go inside, grab some like pet wipes and try to wipe him down in case he has any poop on him. Because he was sitting in the poop when he got to the vet. And yeah, he did really good. Hopefully we can maintain his dental situation the way it is. Boo, do you want to go inside or you want to sit out here for a little while? You want to go inside or you want to hang out? You want to just sit here for a little while? You want to hang out here or you want to go inside? What do you want to do, Boo? He seems very happy right now. I just brought him inside because I was like, what about fleas? Fleas could be jumping in on him. So I'm just going to let him out right now. Ready, Boo? When Boo comes out of a carrier, when he gets back from the vet, he usually struts around like he's hot stuff. I don't know if he's going to do that because of the calming drops that he's on. And also because Nancy's behind me. Coming out? Where's he going? That's Nancy. Where are you going, Boo? You're not going out. What's going on? That's Boo. Look at this. Boo, Sammy, and Nancy. Does Boo want to go back outside? Does he want to go back outside? Boo, you just came in. Look at this. Look at this. Boo and Sammy are like right next to each other. You right, Boo? You're not going back out, Boo. Okay, everyone. I just gave him a squeeze up and he doesn't even want it. So I put it on the plate for him. And he's not even eating it. What's going on, Boo? He wants to go back on his cat tower. I have to put this back on because he almost took it with him. So it ends up Boo had some poop on the back of his tail. So I got the pet wipe and I wiped him. And he wanted to do it up here near the window on the shelf. So I just gave him his squeeze up with some crunchies here. He seems to have really enjoyed his time on the patio in the carrier. I feel like he wants to go back out there and hang out, but he's not going back out there right now. I have to get work done and catch up with my day. I mean, I do have the pet strollers. I could always put him in a pet stroller, but I really don't trust those, like, by himself. I mean, I trust the carrier with him in it more than the stroller. And I do have the cage from, like, when the cats were trapped. But the whole issue with that is, like, with any of these, is that he could easily get fleas out there. Less so in the pet stroller. In the pet stroller, because, he's a few feet off the ground, and that has pretty thin mesh around it. But at the same time, he could scratch his way out of it. Anyway, he's enjoying a treat, and then hopefully everyone's going to settle down. It is 9:45 a.m. Here's Splash. He's playing with me. There's Simba. Simba's playing with me. And Nancy's been playing with the older cats today. And what I mean by that is she's been nicely waiting her turn for the toy along with the other cats. So she was playing with Stella. Stella took a turn with the toy. Then she had a turn with the toy. And the two of them were playing with the spider toy together. And Nancy was not trying to attack anybody or dominate anybody. And it was really nice. And then she came in here and she's been playing with Splash and Simba, and nobody's been trying to attack each other. And she has been respecting the boundaries of the other cats, meaning she hasn't been like getting in their personal space, which is good. See, Nancy just waited her turn very nicely. Another thing that's been going on is just a lot of looking at each other. So Nancy's been sitting with the other cats, 5, 6, 7 feet away from them, and just looking at them. They've just been looking at each other. And I'm starting to get the feeling that maybe Stella and Nancy are going to end up being friends, because they've been doing a lot of sitting with each other, just sitting with each other, about 4, 5, 6 feet away from each other. And there hasn't been issues. And today, Nancy was on my bed and I was combing her, and Stella jumped on the bed, and Stella was on the bed with Nancy. There was no hissing, no growling, nothing. They did keep their distance from each other. They were like 3 feet away from each other. But I was like, wow, this is progress for sure. And I'm starting to feel like, Stella and Nancy might be able to get along really well with each other. They're very similar in many ways. They both love these spider toys. They're both, white and tabby. So they do have like a similar appearance. And they're both bossy. So Nancy's been spending more time with the older cats, like just on her own. She likes to come up in the morning and be with the older cats, without the rest of the lucky 7, and also in the evening. And I don't want to jinx anything, but there have not been any fights. Like, she's not been attacking anyone, which is good. So maybe she's learning. Maybe she's learning that nobody's trying to attack her. Everyone just wants to get along, and that's what she just needs to do. Maybe she's learning her place amongst the OG4. Okay, you ready for breakfast, Nancy? We gotta get moving. We gotta get our day started. All the cats have been flea combed today. And so far this morning, none of the cats had fleas. That's the OG4 and Nancy. I didn't find any fleas on anybody. And when I took Boo to the vet yesterday, the vet flea combed Boo. Like, he takes out a flea comb and starts flea combing him, and he found nothing. He's like, I don't see any fleas. I don't even see signs of fleas. And I'm like, yeah, I have gotten fleas off of Boo several times this summer so far. So that's a good sign that he didn't find anything. It's 10 a.m. Look at these two. Nancy's in the hallway and she's looking at them, and they're up here looking at her. Well, Simba is. Splash is just looking around. I'm just about to give them their breakfast.
Simba and Splash, Splash and Simba, waiting for the breakfast to begin. Simba and Splash, Splash and Simba, are 2 brothers and 2 best friends. Simba and Splash, Splash and Simba, have never really spent a day apart. Simba and Splash, Splash and Simba, are handsome, well-behaved, and very smart. You might never know they're brothers, 'cause they don't look much alike, but they were Stella's little kittens and have been together all their lives. Simba and Splash, Splash and Simba, like to chase each other through the house. Simba and Splash, Splash and Simba, one likes to hunt bugs, the other likes to hunt mouse. You might never know they're brothers, cause they don't look much alike, but they were Stella's little kittens and have been together all their lives. You might never know they're brothers, cause they don't look much alike, but they were Stella's little kittens and have been together all their lives. Simba and Splash, Splash and Simba, waiting for their breakfast to begin. Simba and Splash, Splash and Simba are two brothers and two best friends.
This is a yoga mat that I got at Marshall's yesterday, and I saw it and I thought it would be really similar in color to these storage boxes that I have in this shelving unit. And if you look at these two items side by side, you could see that it is almost the same exact color. So when I got home, I was thrilled that the color matches, because I wasn't too sure in the store, because you know the lighting is always kind of weird in retail stores. So I'm going to open this up and see if it fits on the shelf. It's obviously wider than the shelf, so I'm going to see about cutting it down to size. I just put this on the shelf and it's definitely wider than the shelf and it's longer than the shelf. So I have to measure the shelf and then cut this down to size. I just cut the yoga mat and it was really easy to cut with a pair of scissors. And I just cleaned off the top of these shelves. I'm just waiting for them to dry, and then I'm going to put the yoga mat on top. I'm debating whether I want to cut the sides off or just let the sides hang down. Here's the yoga mat. It is a perfect fit for the shelf. I put the printed side down because that side had like ridges on it. I thought maybe it would better grip the shelf versus the flat side. I think over time, it'll kind of just sit better because, you know, it was wrapped up in the packaging for a while. It'll take some time to just kind of relax. I'm going to put a runner on top of this, and we'll see how this does. Is it going to stay put like the other one's staying put, or is it going to move around? And if it does stay put, then I'm going to start looking for another yoga mat for the living room. I just put the runner back on top, and they actually don't even need a runner on top because the yoga mat is really nice and soft. So if the runner ends up getting like moved all over, I could always just take it off and just leave the yoga mat on there. But this is an experiment and we'll see what happens. Nancy's checking it out. She walked into the room, so I picked her up and I put her up there. Earlier today, she walked into my bedroom and I picked her up and I put her on the bed. I want her to get more used to being picked up. The same thing with Richard and Ziggy. You know, all three of them, Nancy, Richard, and Ziggy, all kind of put up a fight when I picked them up. Sammy lets me pick her up. And then after I'm holding her for a while, then she puts up a fight. But they need to really learn how to be picked up. Now, I don't know if they're going to like tear the yoga mat apart. Hopefully they won't. But they might. I see she has her claws in it already. I should also mention that at the vet yesterday, Boo stuck his claw into the vet's finger. Like the vet was trying to look at Boo's mouth, and Boo did not want that. So he, sunk his claw into the vet's finger. The vet wasn't too happy about that. So then I had to really try to hold Boo down. It always takes at least 2 people to hold Boo down when he's at the vet. Like I really had to like hold his front arms down And the one difference when the vet looks in Boo's mouth versus when I try to look in Boo's mouth is that Boo has never tried to bite the vet. Like, Boo will try to bite me. Like, if I try to like examine his mouth or even try to like clip his nails, he will try to bite me. And he has not tried to bite the vet at all. So that's a good sign. He has tried to, you know, scratch the vet, but he hasn't tried to bite him. And also that was with the calming drops. So with Boo on the calming drops, he tried to scratch the vet. If he wasn't on the calming drops, it would have been so much harder to keep him calm in the vet's office. So they weighed Boo. He weighed 14 pounds, which is good for him. And look at what Nancy's doing to the runner. And I was able to keep him relatively calm on the table with the scale. And then he moved back to the carrier. And when the vet came in, the vet was able to pick him up and move him to the other exam table. And we were actually able to keep him on the exam table. And he was relatively calm compared to how like he normally is. So he didn't freak out too much. And I definitely credit those calming drops. And the vet was like, I guess the calming drops didn't work because he pooped in his carrier. And I was like, oh no, they work great because I was able to get him into the carrier. What are you doing, Nancy? What are you doing, Nancy? So Nancy did not eat breakfast today, and Sammy did not eat breakfast today. I have to go see which other members of the Lucky Seven ate their breakfast or not. But they don't seem to be breakfast cats. They really just want to eat their dinner. But I have to stop giving them snacks at night so that way they'll be more hungry for breakfast. The only snack that they usually get is a little bit of crunchies and some canned food. Like yesterday, they each got maybe a teaspoon of crunchies with their meal. And then I opened 2 cans of food and I split it 7 ways as their snack. So when you think a 5.5 can of food split 4 ways, it's only like a little more than an ounce each. And there was 7 of them, so I had 2 cans. Okay. So maybe it was almost an ounce and a half each. Okay, Nancy, you gonna hang out here? You gonna hang out here? I'm gonna go clean up, okay? I'm gonna go clean up, Nancy. You relax. You relax, I'm gonna clean up. Look at what's going on up here. Do you see this? That is Ziggy and Sammy. I don't have the lights on, so I don't know if this is in focus or if it's too dark or all pixelated, but look at them. Look at them on top of the bunk beds. They're like 2 little love bunnies. I just turned the light on. Ziggy put her head down. They were so cute. So Nancy's been laying on the bed with Richard, and I just brought Stella in the room, and I put Stella right here. So Stella was laying here, Nancy was here, Richard was here. The 3 of them were on the bed together, and I gave them each a few treats. There's a little piece of treat left. Stella did not want to eat her treats, but Nancy ate hers. Richard's laying next to his, and then Nancy went and ate Stella's after Stella jumped down. Look at these 2. It's 9 p.m. and all the cats have just started waking up. They've been napping all day. So it was nice in the morning and I'm glad I got some errands run. And then I got back in the afternoon and I was like, I better take care of all the cat chores, you know, take out the trash and scoop the litter and all that stuff because we're supposed to get some bad weather. And it's a good thing I did because probably around 5 o'clock, it just started raining and we've had like thunderstorms rolling in and it's just been raining for like the past 4 hours. Pretty big downpours. So I'm happy I got all that stuff done early today. And then I was working late since it was nice and quiet in the house. And now I gotta start putting their dinner together. It is almost midnight and I want to go to bed. And look at this. This is Nancy. Nancy wants to be upstairs with the older cats. I don't know if the camera's focusing or if it's all blurry, but she wants to be upstairs with the cats, so I hung the spider on the palm tree. And there's another spider in the kitchen. And Nancy's here right now. She doesn't want to go downstairs. I don't know why. And there's Stella. Do you see Stella? Simba's in a cat tower a few feet behind Stella. And here's Nancy on the other side of the play rug. I don't know if the camera is pulsing. I don't know what the camera's doing. Boo's in a cat tower in the other room. Splash is in the other room. So, I mean, if she behaves, I don't mind her staying up here, but I want to get some sleep. I'm leaving the TV on in the living room so that it's not too dark. Earlier today, this evening, Splash and Simba were sitting on this unit underneath the TV, and Richard jumped up on it, and he didn't attack them or ambush them. He just like jumped up like he wanted to, I don't know, scare them or something. And it worked because they were freaked out by it. And then Richard ran out of the room and under my bed. So I know he was freaked out because I saw his tail was all big. I heard the commotion, and I was in Boo's room at the time. And when I walked out of Boo's room, all I saw was some cat fly out of the living room and down the hall. And I know it was like a tabby, and it had like a really bushy tail. So I thought it was Simba for a while. But then I saw Simba in the living room, so I was like, oh, okay, must be one of the other tabbies. All right, Nancy, I'm going to bed. Behave. Behave yourself, Nancy. I'm going to bed. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.